Today's 5-minute movie review covers the 2008 television series Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles. This TV series stars Lena Headey as Sarah Connor, Thomas Dekker as the young John Connor, and Summer Glau as Cameron, the Terminator. Now, the timeline of this series is about 5 years after the events of Terminator 2. And the basic plot is this: Sarah and John have been reunited. Both of them are living on the lam. They are on the run from civilian authorities, police, the FBI, etc. They're also on the run from Skynet, who continuously sends Terminators back in time in order to kill John. And in the pilot episode, we see the struggle that Sarah and John are living through, never really being sure of how safe they are at any given moment, always running around to different city after different city, using fake names, using fake identities. And we can see this wearing on both of them. Sarah really wants to be a normal woman who can have a normal relationship and feel safe to live and love like an average human being. John wants to be a normal teenager and do the things that teenage boys typically do. Neither of them can do that, and so we have this tension and wear and tear that shows on both of them in the first episode. And it's in that first episode that we're introduced to Cameron, a female Terminator, and it's the addition of Cameron into this mix that makes this series as great as it is. Yes, there's excellent acting. Yes, there's wonderful writing. There is absolutely stunning visual effects. But the true magic of the Sarah Connor Chronicles is the chemistry between the three lead actors. We have Sarah, the protective mother, John, the rebellious teenager, and Cameron, who is a wild card in this equation. And throughout this series, we follow the adventures of those three characters as they find themselves in varying degrees of trouble with both civilian authorities as well as Skynet and their Terminators being sent back through time to get John. And during the course of these adventures, we're introduced to a number of excellent members of the supporting cast. This includes Richard T. Jones and his portrayal of FBI agent James Ellison, who is always seemingly hot on the trail of Sarah and John. This also includes Dean Winters, who most people know as Mr. Mayhem from the Allstate commercials. But in the Sarah Connor Chronicles, Mr. Winters portrays the role of Charlie Dixon, who is Sarah Connor's love interest in the show. And in this role, Dean Winters truly shines. He does so well, actually, that I thought he probably should have been a bigger part of the series itself. We're also introduced to Brian Austin Green, who comes back from the future, and his interactions with Sarah and John, as well as Cameron, makes for some very interesting television. Sarah Connor Chronicles is an excellent TV series, not only for what it is, but also for some of the themes and questions it brings up. And first and foremost of these would be, what does it mean to be human? Because after watching this series, that is a question that will come to mind, and that's something that not only is pertinent inside the Terminator universe, but as we continue to move through the 21st century, this question becomes more and more important with each passing day. All in all, this is a wonderful, wonderful series. I think it makes for excellent viewing, especially if you watch Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 beforehand. There's only two major flaws with the series as a whole. The first flaw is we did not get the third season. Allegedly, this cancellation was at the behest of Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was worried the TV show was getting a little too popular and would end up competing with the numerous sequels spun off on the Terminator film franchise. The other weak point would be somewhere around Season 2, about the middle point of Season 2, the show stretches out a little too far and puts a little bit too much on the supporting cast. The supporting cast is great, but they don't have the gravitas needed to hold the interest of the series. And for that, I think the series weakens just a little bit in the middle of the second season. Other than that, though, this is a wonderful, wonderful TV series, especially if you like science fiction, and most especially if you like the Terminator franchise. I give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Because it was cut short, Sarah Connor Chronicles is an unfinished masterpiece. This is Kevin in Texas saying God bless each and every one of you. I'll talk to you later. Bye.